During Japan's Warring States period, many helmets with bizarre designs appeared. In this article, I'll introduce you to some of these bizarre helmets. Catfish tail helmet. The sharp design of this helmet stands out against the jet black armor. There is a story that it was the model for Mazinger Z. This is said to be a helmet that belonged to Gamoa Gisato. Although its name is catfish, it was created to resemble the tail of a swallow. Helmets with swallow designs were popular because swallows were said to protect crops by eating pests, and their nests would bring prosperity to the house. Caterpillar-shaped helmet. Satake Yoshishige wore this helmet. The caterpillar's body is attached to the helmet, and the wings on each side represent the hairs of the caterpillar. It is a little weird to use a caterpillar, but of course, it makes sense. Since caterpillars do not retreat, they were favored by brave warlords because of their determination to never show their back to the enemy. Yoshishige was such a fierce general that he was nicknamed Oni no Yoshishige, Demon Yoshishige, because he cut down 7 soldiers at once. If a demon wearing this helmet were on the battlefield, it would have been terrifying. Other insects that only move forward, such as centipedes, were favored by the warlords. All of these designs look funny, but they have a neat meaning. Monkey-masked helmet. A helmet worn by Yatsumondo. It looks like a monkey itself. This helmet is made with the meaning that disaster will pass away. This is because leave and monkey are pronounced the same in Japanese as sorrow. Weighing only about 1 kilogram, it was very light and would have been able to move as lightly as a monkey. This helmet also had an eerie effect because it covered the face. If I were to encounter this warlord on the battlefield, I would be afraid that he would cut off my head in a flash. Lobster helmet. Looks good. No matter how you look at it, it looks delicious. The freshness of Japanese seafood is very different. Shrimp, a crustacean, was favored by samurai because its shape looks covered in armor. This helmet is covered with a lobster made of leather. So you can't eat it in an emergency situation. This was not for use in actual combat, but ceremonial purposes. Crab helmet. If there are lobsters, of course, there are crabs. Crabs had a lot of eggs in their bellies, and were considered a symbol of prosperity. It was also considered a congratulatory animal because it repeatedly molts and grows, and was favored by warlords. Well, I think the best way to use crabs is to boil them and eat them. Shachi helmet. The castle towers in Japan are decorated with fish-like animals, and their name is shachi. Shachi is an imaginary creature with a dragon or tiger for a head, a fish for a body, and a tail that slithers back toward the sky. Here is the helmet with shachi on it. Shachi is said to prevent fires by spitting water out of their mouths and worshipping them as guardians of buildings. For this reason, the helmet was meant to prevent enemy attacks. There are other helmets with shachi designs. Octopus helmet. Japanese people like seafood, don't they? Incidentally, this octopus helmet was not used in actual combat. There was peace and no battles in the late Edo period, so instead, artisans made them compete their skills. A work of art. Indeed, you can see that the helmet was made with high craftsmanship. There seems to be a similar helmet in Chicago, USA. It is perfect for people who want to increase their defense fashionably. Turban shell helmet. It is a helmet with a turban shell on it as it is. The shell of the turban shell is very hard, which implies the intention to repel guns and swords. Since the kanji character for flourish is used for turban shells, the wish for the prosperity of offspring is also included. There are also clam and scallop helmets. It's like a sushi restaurant. Oh yeah? The tradition of warlords wearing seafood on their heads has been passed down to future generations, and remains in Japan today. I'm kidding, of course. Nagamasa's helmet. This is said to have been worn by Nagamasa Kuroda during the Battle of Sekigahara, and is one of the unique helmets of its kind. It was built to resemble the terrain where Yoshitsune made his surprise attack during the Genpei War. Despite its size, it is surprisingly light, weighing only about 3 kilograms. However, I assume that the air resistance when riding was strong. So it makes sense that he would have this expression on his face. There are a few other helmets that seem to have more aerodynamic resistance. On a side note, I think this is the model for the helmet of the Musha Gundam Mark II. The arm helmet. The pestle held in his hand is a dharma tool used in some sects of Japanese Buddhism. The gods worshipped by the samurai also hold the same pestle in their hands, hence this design. However, I can't help but laugh when I imagine a warrior wearing this and galloping across the battlefield on a horse. Especially if they have a straight face. It's a perfect balance of bravery and silliness. The Soup Bowl Helmet. A helmet worn by Kuroda Kanbei. It is shaped like a bowl lying face down, meaning gathering and tying. It is also a wish to unite soldiers during wartime. The bowl also has the meaning of drinking up the enemy. But well, I still can't help but look ridiculous when I wear this helmet with a straight face. The Devil's Helmet. This helmet, which looks like a devil's mask, has belonged to Yasuji Kenshin. There are 2 other faces on the back as well. The 3 faces mean Buddha, Dharma, and monk. Helmet with a mountain bird's tail. This armor is said to have been invented by Tadaoki Hosokawa. The armor is efficient and straightforward, with no unnecessary decoration, but what stands out is the bird feather that extends straight from the top of the head. These feathers are made from the tail feathers of mountain birds. Rabbit Helmet. There are so many helmets with rabbit motifs that they must have considered it an animal of good luck. It may be a wish to have many children, hear well, and move quickly. A moon is also an object of faith. In Japan, it is said that rabbits live on the moon, so perhaps the rabbit was used as a symbol of faith. I don't think they chose the bunny ears because they are cute. Mantis Helmet. The design shows a praying mantis aggressively spreading its wings. This helmet truly symbolizes a state of readiness for war. Warlords favored the mantis as a symbol of reaping the enemy's head because of its movement. Dragonfly Helmet. In Japan, dragonflies are auspicious insects that bring victory, because they fly forward and never backward. Some of the helmets owned by Oda Nobunaga were decorated with dragonflies. Helmet with glasses. The helmet has glasses as standard equipment, not just a design, but also lenses for nearsightedness. Finally, I'll end with 2 armor pieces that I think are the coolest. The first is the armor of Masamune. The jet black armor and the crescent moon helmet are the coolest. The moon of the dominant hand is shortened so that it does not get in the way when wielding the sword. It is said that Darth Vader was created based on this armor. Next, the armor of Yukimura Sanada. Shingen Takeda initially used bright red armor. Since Takeda's army was a brave and robust unit, the bright red armor was associated with the image of an elite team organized by strong men. Yukimura made his armor bright red, hoping to make his army as strong as the Takeda army. This armor is typical of the brave Yukimura, praised as the best army in Japan. The helmet is decorated with deer antlers because deer have long been cherished as messengers of the gods in Japan. How did you feel about it? That's all for this explanation. We will continue to cover all topics related to Japan, so if you have any topics you would like us to cover, please leave a comment. Thank you for watching to the end.